All right, we're going here. So my name's Zach Jacobs. I was one of the founders of FightForOurFunds, and then I still operate it sort of in a lesser degree with Abe and David and a bunch of other guys that are maybe a little less public. But Melissa, tell us your story, start to finish, how you got yourself in the position you're currently in, and I'll mute myself and kick back and listen.
Okay, that sounds good. So yeah, I'm Melissa Bowe. I'm in Madison, Wisconsin. I started depositing into Yotta in 2021. My now husband, then boyfriend at the time, we were just trying to find a good way to make money on our money, and so hearing about the high yield savings option with this was really appealing. And so we both just started saving in separate savings accounts within Yotta. And I had a savings account prior to that because I have a bunch of student loans. And so instead of putting money towards those loans, since there was so much going on with COVID, I just decided I was going to deposit into Yotta as if I was paying my loan. So then once there was clarity on loan repayment, then I had the money ready. And so I was doing that for, from 2021 to whenever all this happened, 2024 in the spring, for me anyway. And so there was a good chunk of money saved up. I had $67,000 of savings that I had either transferred over or earned within those few years. And then, yeah, we got married in the fall of 2023. And so naturally, we just started combining our finances a little bit more. And that was when I decided to, have a shared savings account with my husband. So I was transferring money from my Yotta savings to our new savings that we were going to do together. And then it just stopped. I had withdrew $20,000 at that point because there was, there's all these little rules of you can only do $10,000 a day or $40,000 a month. So it was stalling out. And then I went to transfer that next chunk of money. And I don't know if it said denied or canceled or what, pending forever. I can't even remember. And then we had looked into it and, found out some of the things that were going on. And so at that point, it was really let's not freak out. This feels really scary, but we don't know what's happening. And so as the year went on, we just tried to stay as updated as possible. And then in the fall of 2024, we started to feel a little more hopeful again, because that's when we were hearing about what Evolve was doing, trying to, pursue reconciliation, all these words that, created a lot of hope. And so anyway, we ended up buying a home because I had transferred just enough to cover a down payment. And we're starting to think, okay, maybe this will come back to us, the rest of it, which, yeah, it's hard. It's hard to balance hope with trying to be realistic. But anyway, so we pursued the decision to purchase a home, and then we moved in Halloween, so October 31st. And then a couple days later is when we got the email about here's how you can set up your payment option through Evolve. This is how we'll pay you the money we decided we through our reconciliation process that we owe you. And so I remember it was a Monday, logging on, doing the thing. And, the numbers are all looking good. It's feeling so exciting, right? We just moved in. Holy cow, this is actually going to be okay. And then, I get the result of the email, whatever it is. And it's $1.46. And it was the worst whiplash I've ever had in my life. It was to go from thinking this awful nightmare we've been in for however many months might finally be over to getting $1.46. I almost would rather them have not even sent that. It was just, yeah. So, and then it's
so much worse than zero.
Yes, right.
I know.
It really is. Oh, it was so painful. And so, yeah, from then it was just trying to emotionally readjust, because it was, I don't know, one of my biggest pain points at that time, obviously the financial, the fear and all of that, but then also just being so excited to be entering this new phase of my life. But now it almost felt like there was this cloud over it. our home felt like this new thing. And then now it almost felt like a trap, or feels like a trap, right? Like, and I know it was our decision to still buy the home and all of that, but it really changed the tone of that time. And so anyway, I mean, I feel like and Nick had lost about 10,000 as well. He just didn't have as much in there. That's my husband. So yeah, since then, it's just been trying to make that up.
I think not to cut you off, but I think the story that everyone sort of has in common is the hope.
Yeah.
The hope led you to lose all the money over again.
Yeah.
And it was like you'd spent a year getting over the pain of losing so much money. Totally. And then you got to lose it again. So when you were opening that email and clicking on the link, you had all your money back again. And then it got taken away again. And it was really just reopening that wound. So sorry, go on.
No, that you're exactly right. That's completely how it felt. And I don't know. I think it hit even harder because it felt even more hopeless that second time around, right? Because the first time around, it was just also confusing. I mean, it still is, but it felt like maybe there was a little more gray to kind of hold on to, or I don't know, but just to have that, lose it all again. You're totally right. So yeah, it's just been since then, just trying to recoup financially, but also emotionally, like I don't want this event to like make me too jaded or too mistrusting. Like that's something I think that has been hard too. Just not losing trust in all systems, right? Or not thinking like, well, the world runs on money. I was naive to think otherwise. Like that's sort of what's, where my mind ends up going because of this. But yeah, and then my husband, he's just, busting his ass working. He's working right now. He does Instacart, he does B-dubs, Buffalo Wild Wings, like a server job and a day job. And then I'm a mental health therapist. And so I'm just trying to like take more clients and, like just try to get back to square one. So yeah, I guess that's the gist of it for the most part, but yeah, not a good situation.
How have you I guess what have you been open with like friends, family, and have you participated in any of the letter writing or I guess talk about that a bit?
Yeah, definitely. So we did share with quite a few friends and family. And what's interesting, I mean, we've gotten a lot of support. Obviously, it feels kind of embarrassing to do as well, to talk with people about it because they just don't understand. But we've also noticed now, like when they're making financial decisions, they're saying like, is this okay? Like maybe we don't want what happened to you to happen to us. So it's just interesting to see the mistrust trickle down when it didn't even happen to them necessarily, right? So yeah, we've been talking to friends and family about it. And then I have been doing like with the emails, if there's action steps, I've done those. Both Nick and I have written, written the letters, sent the emails, filed the complaints, any little bit that we can do, we've tried to do. And then also we reached out to a couple attorneys and things like that, but it seems it's hard, right? You lose a bunch of money and then you're going to spend more money to maybe have an outcome that's positive. So that hasn't gone anywhere either, but yeah. So we're just trying to do the action steps we can and then try to see like what ends up working for people, but
yeah, I think the point you hit on that I think is absolutely right, is the distrust. I think it's the banking system is something that is seen as like a rock solid,
right,
safe place. And I know anyone who will listen to me, I will let them know, like, and it's like, it's literally, if you can't walk in the bank,
right.
I mean, that if you can't walk in, it's not a bank. And it's just like, I think that I think that mistrust will reverberate through everyone we know, maybe even our kids.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh,
Well,
for sure.
I'm super hopeful that things work out here. I think it's going to be slow.
Yeah.
I don't think that something like this
Mm-hmm.
just gets swept under the rug. So I appreciate you sharing your story, and I'm hopeful that things turn around. And uh, I hope that people, I just to continue telling these stories lets people know that there's a lot of people still out here.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
you are still the entire amount minus the $1.40. You are
Mm-hmm.
still 100% missing everything.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's sickening. I still, even though it's to a lesser effect, but paying interest or paying taxes on the interest made. Because then you're like, all right, well, if I refile my taxes, it's going to cost more than. So, like, not only did we lose the money, we also had to pay taxes on those prizes.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
just like punch, punch, punch,
Yep.
punch.
Yep. Mm-hmm. In every
Well,
direction. Mm-hmm.
I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for the other tens of thousands of people that have lost everything. And I appreciate you sharing your story, Melissa.
Yeah, yeah. Can I ask you, like, with being as involved as you are, how is that, right? Because I feel like there's times when I can sort of escape it, right? I can just whatever. But for you, I feel like you have to be in contact with this so much more. And I don't know, like that'd
So
be.
it's a lot less intense. I took, I think I at a certain point, there were a handful of people involved that I said, hey, like, you're better than me at this. I want you to take on, like, you push things forward, and then
Yeah.
I'll help where I can.
Mhm.
But yeah, for there's a time there where it was absolutely insane. It
Right.
was like people were coming out of the woodwork,
Yeah.
and they're like, hey, I used to work so and so. You should know about this. But, like, no one would go on the record. No
Mm-hmm.
one would, like, you can't ever repeat any of this. And
Mm-hmm.
it's all just seemed, it's like, I don't know if it's criminal or not.
Mm-hmm.
But there were, like, I think it was really intense at the beginning. We were talking to, like, a million different law firms,
Yeah.
consumer advocate groups, like, what PR people, like, there was so much going on. And then it's like, if Evolve's move was to pay off just enough people that
Mm-hmm.
we lose steam, it worked.
Yeah.
Because, like, it became harder to get, it became harder. And I think that as of recently, it's more like, people are like, hey, like, what are you guys even doing? Like, where's my money? And it's like, dude, like, we're trying our hardest. Like,
Right.
there's never been a clear path here.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but my gut is that my gut is that the money had been slowly gone over the course of several years.
Mm-hmm.
People who withdraw earlier got other people's money. I don't know if that's true. That's my personal opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it sort of reflects what Yotta's lawsuit they just
Mm-hmm.
filed was. Is I think they're, like, essentially saying it was a Ponzi scheme.
Right.
New people were getting old people's money.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but yeah, it's very obviously lost steam,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and it's like, I'm still hopeful. I think that, like, all we need is, like, a little win. Like, whenever the reconciliations were happening, people were, like, alive again. So
Yeah.
it'll just take a little time, and if
Mm-hmm.
we can continue pushing forward on days when we don't want to push forward, uh,
Right. Mm-hmm.
maybe we'll get somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. What is the most helpful thing for Nick and I to do in regard? Like, is it just making sure to stay up to date and do some of those, like what's suggested in the emails, or?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, any avenue you have to raise the issue. Like, I literally emailed my town's mayor. She obviously didn't reply to me, but
Mm-hmm.
I was just like,
Right.
anyone that I can reach out to, I'm going to reach out to.
Yeah.
Uh, and just sort of, like, I had probably a better response with media, but it's
Mm-hmm.
just like, listen, like, people lost
Right.
savings. Like, it's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the best thing you can do, I mean, the best thing is, like, everyone does it at once, but I think that's hard to do. But yeah, if you have any avenue or any connections to anyone, to just, like,
Yeah.
shoot them an email saying, hey, this happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
It deserves being looked into. And maybe they reply, maybe they don't.
Right. Right. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, I wish I had a better answer.
No, that's plenty, because it's like, it's so ambiguous, and it just so often feels like you're screaming into the void, right? But I mean, if that's what you need to do, then okay, we'll do it. Yeah.
In like 10 years, we will know for sure if what we were doing was helpful.
Right. Yeah.
But there's also the possibility that like,
yeah,
the Department of Justice has been looking into it for months, and they're already like in an investigation and everything. It's very likely that everyone that's investigating this is already like, they don't need more letters. They're like, we know what happened. We're on it.
right.
But you know, it's free to continue. It's free to continue being annoying to our representatives. So that's what we'll do.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Well, good. I mean, I so appreciate your efforts in all of this. Like you know, I've felt the seam shift as well, or there to be like lost steam in this, but just seeing the emails come through, or seeing the things that are even written in those, right? Like, it is reassuring, regardless of what happens almost, you know, just to know, like, it's not like someone is caring about this, you know?
Yeah.
So I appreciate it.
Thing. It is by no means me. It's a group of people that are pushing it forward. And yeah, I mean, we may not win, but we won't look back and say we should have tried harder. So
right, exactly. Yeah.
All right, well, thanks for your time. I'm gonna let you get back to your weekend. I appreciate you sharing, and I look forward to sharing it with as many people as we can.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
All right, see you, Melissa.
Bye.